All right, let me ask you something. Have you ever had that sinking feeling that you're spending more time documenting your work than, actually doing it? Well, today we're diving into this quiet revolution that's helping businesses escape that black hole of paperwork. We're talking about reclaiming thousands and thousands of hours.
I mean, this quote from Billy Holder, it just hits home, doesn't it? Imagine walking into work and you have complete clarity. It perfectly captures that feeling we all know too well, being absolutely buried in paperwork when you should be out there using your actual skills. And look, this isn't just annoying. It's like a huge hidden tax on productivity that companies are paying every single day.
And that really gets us to the heart of the problem we're talking about today, what we're calling the documentation trap. Think about it. It's what happens when your best people, your most skilled and expensive experts, are basically stuck being data entry clerks. Yeah, this picture right here, this is the reality for so many pros. The clipboard, the tablet, it's this slow, painful dance, right? You walk a site, you take your notes, you snap some photos, and then comes the real fun part. Hours and hours of trying to piece it all together into some kind of coherent report. It's pure drudgery. And here's where it all breaks down fundamentally. We hire people for their expert judgment, for their brains, but then we chain them to paperwork. It's not just inefficient, it's a crazy misuse of talent that absolutely crushes morale and the bottom line. Okay, let's make this super real for a second. Let me tell you about Steve. He's a regional facilities manager. Before all this automation stuff, he was spending 60 hours a month. That's a week and a half of full-time work every single month, just typing up his notes into work orders. He wasn't managing anything. He was a data entry clerk who just happened to have a company car. So you'd think the obvious answer is just throw more tech at it, right? But what happens when the tech itself becomes the new problem? This is what we call the new kind of bottleneck, where our shiny new solutions end up creating a whole different kind of manual headache. Let's look at Chloe's story. Her roofing team started using drones to inspect roofs faster. I mean, brilliant idea, right? But all it did was swap one bottleneck for another. Instead of climbing ladders, her team was now stuck in front of a screen, manually watching hours of drone footage just to write one single report. A human was still the bottleneck, and each inspection, it still took a painful 6 hours. So how in the world do you break that cycle? Well, the answer isn't just another app or some fancier gadget. No, it's a total shift in thinking. It's about a true automation revolution, one where you stop treating information like a static photo and start treating it like a live, continuous, intelligent stream. And this right here, this is the core of that revolution. On the left, you've got the old way, a traditional assessment. It's basically a snapshot in time, a picture that's out of date the second you take it. It tells you where you were, but on the right, that's the new way of thinking, a continuous living record. It's not a static report. It's a dynamic dashboard that tells you where you are right now. And even more importantly, it helps you see where you're headed. Honestly, this picture says it all, doesn't it? You go from that clunky tablet on the left to just recording a video on your phone. All of a sudden, documentation isn't some separate, agonizing chore you have to do later. It just becomes an automatic part of the inspection itself. That is the power of AI right there. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's get into the numbers because honestly, the data is what tells the real story of just how big this transformation is. And the headline number? It's pretty staggering. We're talking across totally different industries here. Roofing, insurance, asset management, you name it. Companies are seeing an average time savings of 70% on every single inspection. That's not just an improvement. That is an absolutely game-changing level of efficiency. And get this. Look how fast this stuff pays for itself. A roofing team? Payback in 1 month. An asset management firm? Also 1 month. Even a super busy restoration crew saw a full return on their investment in just 2 months. I mean, the financial risk here is practically zero. And the return on that investment? The ROI? It's almost hard to believe. We're not talking about, a 50% or 100% ROI. We're talking about returns in the thousands of percent. Check out that consulting firm, over 4,400% ROI. And all they did was free up their experts from doing paperwork. Now, let's break that down into actual dollars and cents. For a 5-person roofing team, we're talking over $214,000 in net savings every year. And for that small consulting team, it's a mind-blowing $854,000. See, this isn't just about saving a little time here and there. This is about adding huge, serious cash directly to the bottom line. But you know what? These numbers, as incredible as they aren't even the whole story. The real transformation, the real magic, happens when you ask yourself a simple question. What could my team actually do with all that time back? That's the moment when efficiency turns into real strategy. So let's go back to the people we talked about. Remember Chloe's roofing team? They're now using that extra time to write killer sales proposals that win more business. Mark, the home inspector, he actually gets to spend evenings with his family now. Marcus's restoration crew, they can answer more emergency calls, helping more people. And Steve? Well, Steve finally gets to stop being a data entry clerk and be the manager he was hired to be. So the whole transformation, it follows this really simple but powerful path. First, you automate all that tedious grunt work to free up your experts. Then, you unleash them to do what they do best: drive revenue, build strategy, and make clients happy. In the end game, you can scale your entire operation without having to hire a single new person. And so, this all brings us back to you and your team. I want you to take a hard look at all those hidden hours that are getting sucked away by the documentation trap in your business, and then just ask yourself, really ask, what could my team achieve if I gave them all that time back?